Hello, everyone. Welcome. Come on in, grab a chair, grab a seat. I'm going to go ahead and, got 1 minute. We'll say, we'll give you 1 minute to settle in. Well, we want to welcome you to our State of Avery Town Hall. I'm very excited to have this event because there's a lot going on across the city today. So I'm super grateful that you took time out to tune in with us. My name is Dr. Tamara Butler. I'm the Executive Director of the Avery Research Center. And welcome. So for tonight's event, it's really just for us to check in and speak with you about what we have going on in Avery in the midst of this global pandemic. Want to take a moment out just to kick off with a little bit of silence for our folks in Haiti due to the earthquake. And so just want to take a few minutes to recognize those lives lost there, as well as lives lost here to COVID. So just a couple seconds of silence. All right. Well, for me, my biggest update is just that I have made it through our first year. I'm so excited about the first year of being here and I won't necessarily say the helm of Avery because I don't think I'm the driver here. I think the team really helps move us along and down the road. For me, it's just a matter of thinking about how can we continue to build. It's been really exciting to talk to different community partners, organizations, individuals, learning more about your visions for Avery, your longstanding partnerships with Avery or new ones. And so we'll see how this next year goes. We're taking it day by day, step by step. And so we just want to thank you so much for your patience and your time and look forward to building with you some more this year. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Butler, for that introduction. I am Aisha Heiko, and I am the Manager of Archival Services at the College of Charleston Avery Research Center for African History and Culture. And I will bring to you some updates from the what we call the Archival and Interpretation Team, also known as the AIT. Love acronyms, so that's who we are. The team, the AIT team, consists of myself, Ms. Georgette Mayo, who is our processing archivist, and Ms. Erica Veal, who is the project archivist and interpretation specialist at Avery. So how I'm going to go through the slides today are some questions and some answers. Most frequently asked questions that we get via phone, via email, in person when we call at the grocery store or at the library. And so I want to just provide responses to those and hopefully provide some clarity. So, is the Avery Research Center open? Yes. But we are only open for researchers by appointment only. So we are not open for tours or any kind of in-person public programming in the building. And so to make an appointment, we ask that you do a consultation with the AIT team by phone or by email or via Zoom. And that is so we can get a clear understanding of your research needs and see if you need to come in person to do your research review of our collections. And so we'll ask you to provide us with a listing of the items that you want to see in our collections, and then we can have that ready for you when you come into the building. And we highly suggest that you wear a mask while in the space. So what have we been doing the past year, almost 2 years, that the building has been physically closed? And so there's some projects, only selected a few projects that the team have been working on. We've been updating the website. If you went to avery.cuc.edu, you notice that we had a remodel earlier this year. It's much cleaner, a new design, and we hope that it makes it more user friendly for you to find out all the projects and access collections for researchers. Ms. Mayo has been taking train the trainer emergency preparedness classes to prepare ourselves for emergency disasters, and also able to impart information to our stakeholders. We've also been migrating to Archive Space, which is a content management platform, which makes it easier to search our collections. And I'll show you an image of that in the next slide. We're also working on community gardens here at Avery, as well as at the elementary school. Conducting public programs such as these, conducting instruction sessions for community members, as well as for College of Charleston students virtually. And so this is the new website for our finding aids. If you remember our own website, there was a static web page that you would scroll down and trying to find the collection that you're interested in. You could also, in the past, have done a Google search, look in the box, and it would pull up results. But this is called Archive Space, and this is a different platform that integrates not only Avery's collections, but also special collection of College of Charleston's. So it's a one-stop shop to search both special collections as well as Avery's finding aids. So it really brings us together and makes it easier for researchers to know what we have at the College of Charleston. And so this is an example of what the finding aid looks like, information on the collection, the heading, the call number, and then an overview of the collection. And then you have pages and you scroll down. On the side, on the right-hand side, you will find a menu box like this, and this will tell you the series and the folder titles of the collection. Next question we get, are you accepting donations of collections? So during the period of 2020 to 2021, we did put a pause on collections because of safety, as well as because of space. And so we are catching up on all of those previous requests. And so in order to create a workflow and to really keep track of everything, we've implemented a form that you can access on the website that will ask you to fill out information about the collection, about the items and the materials. And we'll have a spot where you can upload an inventory of the collection. And this will really help us as we analyze and appraise to see if your items would be appropriate for Avery. And so that is another way that we're trying to make it much more user friendly and provide context for what we will not accept at Avery. And the other question we get is, can you help me find my family history? So first and foremost, the Avery Research Center is not a family history center. It is not a genealogy center. What we have are archival materials that may help you find information. And so what I mean by that is, if your family donated papers to Avery, then you may have more information on your family than other people. But if you have an ancestor that you just have a name of a person, it's going to be very difficult to find information about that individual, because how we arrange and describe materials are not by name in that way. So we suggest that when you approach an archive, including Avery, is that you think about the years that they were active in the Charleston or in that city that you are researching. What kind of organizations or institutions would they have been affiliated with? And that through that collection, they may be in being noted in the meeting minutes or as in a program. And that is how you may find information about your ancestor. And then you kind of think, are you focused just on your individual, or are you also interested in the context and the environment that they lived in? And so that is a little bit easier because we have books and other resources that can help you understand the environment of someone who was alive in the 1800s or 1960s, that can help you understand what they might have to navigate and the culture that they're living in, even if you can't find the individual person that you're looking for. We've also created a LibGuide, an online resource guide that you can use and help you locate information. What's new? In the past month, we received notice that we received $120,000 worth of grant funds to two projects. One is from Coastal Community Foundation to digitize some of our photographic collections. And our second grant was from the Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation to conduct oral histories with activists from 2014 till the present. You will be hearing more about these two grant projects in the coming year. So stay tuned, and we'll be free to answer questions in the Q&A part. And with that, I will turn over to Mr. Darren Calhoun.
Thank you, Aisha. This has been great. I really do appreciate everybody who works at the Avery Research Center for African American History and Culture. Again, my name is Darren Lee Calhoun II. I run the facilities as well as I am the public programming and outreach coordinator, as well as the director of the Race and Social Justice Initiative at the Avery. It has been a very, very, very long year, a very long month, a very long week, but we are going to make it, said the great philosopher Jadakiss. I'm going to give a brief update on what's going on with the Avery as far as our facilities, our programming, as well as some of our upcoming programs. Starting off as Aisha did, is the Avery open? Yes, for research. However, as far as public programming, as far as tours, we are closed. As of right now, the Avery is dealing with a very bad termite situation. As you all know, we were closed for 2.5 years for renovations. And also, as our great brother, Christopher Wallace, the great philosopher, Biggie Smalls, wants to paraphrase, as he said, old buildings, new problems. When we fixed all of the problems from our renovation before, that brought up more problems now. So when we sealed up our building from the old renovation, that the water that was inside of the building that was causing the problems before had nowhere to escape. That caused termites inside of our building. So now we are in the process of getting our archives as well as our archive space, which will be room 203A, 203C inside on the second floor, as well as the McKinley Washington Auditorium. The floors will be ripped up inside of those places. So that being said, we had to remove all of our collections from the archives and put them inside of all of my gallery spaces. I have nothing to show you. There's nothing on our walls. All of our gallery spaces are filled with collections, so we can take care of the problems that are going on within the building. It's a gift and a curse. I will say that because since we have to close now for termite mitigation, we are blessed and we are very fortunate to be able to receive a $100,000 AV system upgrade inside of our McKinley Washington Auditorium. So while they are doing the mitigation of the termites with the floors ripped up and receiving a new floor inside of our auditorium, we will also be receiving a $100,000 AV upgrade inside of our auditorium. And if you have been inside of the Avery before, you know that we still had tape decks, VCRs, all within our auditorium. If you were there back in 2017 or as recently as 2016 before we closed, you will see we still had TVs hanging from our ceiling. So that being said, we are receiving a new AV system. So I am very proud about that. I want to thank our library. I would also like to thank our library system, our Dean, John White, the executive assistant at the library, Tamara Rosas-Bosick, who helped us with that. Also Savannah Frierson, our office manager, and everybody at the Avery to help push that project forward so we can get that going. We will actually be able to do live streaming and hybrid events at the Avery, where we should have been 5 years ago. So I'm very proud about that. So as I just said, we will be closed for this upcoming semester. I do plan to open we do plan to open the building back up in the spring semester, COVID dependent. And with that, we plan to have some fresh exhibitions coming on. I'm very, very excited about at least 2 or 3 of our exhibitions that we have coming on inside of the spring semester that should have been here this fall. But because of, like I said, the COVID situation and termite situation, we had to push to the spring. And I'm very fortunate and thankful to our artists that we have coming that they were able to be flexible with their schedules to move us to the spring. With that, we will have we have one new exhibition, one new gallery space opening back up, and our regular exhibition gallery space is opening. So what have we done? As Aisha said, we have never been closed. Even throughout our renovations, the Avery has never been closed. We have always done programming. Even with COVID, we pivoted to our Avery Digital Classroom. I want to thank everybody who actually participated in that Avery Digital Classroom because we have increased our engagement tenfold because of it. I also have to give a shout out to Courtney Hicks for helping us with that pivot. If we did not have Courtney and Erica and everybody else at the Avery, I don't know where we would have been last year. They helped make the Avery Digital Classroom what it is today. And it's the reason why we are live streaming online right now, because I am old, my knees hurt, and I have no idea how to make any of these things work. So thank you, Courtney and Erica, as well as everybody else's work at the Avery. For the last few months, as we've been moving in this digital space, the Avery has focused a lot on our community engagement. I want to thank Dr. Millicent Brown, who's helping us actually recognize folk within the community who have been doing great things and welcoming them to the Avery, because that's what we need. So I want to thank Dr. Brown for that. Also, in June, we announced our Cynthia McCautry Smith Teachers of Excellence Awards. And that we recognized 5 different teachers within the Charleston community who exuded social justice within their curriculum. And they are the 2021-2022 Teachers of Excellence for the Avery Research Center. So we want to thank them again, and you'll be seeing more about them soon. We also are moving forward with our social justice awards, the James E. Campbell Social Justice Leadership Awards. We will be having a full recognizable cohort this year for social justice projects inside of the state of South Carolina, with 3 or 4 students from the College of Charleston and the rest coming from the HBCUs. That is still going on. We also have, and I think Aisha mentioned this, we have social justice gardens going around the city of Charleston. We have one at the Avery. I personally had some collard greens as well as some okra coming from our garden, where we're looking at different methods of Gullah Geechee gardening or whatnot from the region, as well as we have opened a few over at different schools. Now, our greatest accomplishment has been the Stono Park Elementary School in West Ashley, my district, District 10. They have opened their social justice garden, and that food is being donated to the Low Country Action Committee for food justice within our community. So we are very proud about that. If you have a school that you will would like a garden, who can help keep up with it, and we can teach the students about gardening and food justice within our community, let us know, and we can get one over there. And get us in contact with any other teachers, and we can get one over there. One big thing that we've been hearing about is the rededication of our bottle tree. That will be happening within the next month. We will be putting back up our bottle tree. We've been waiting until the Avery has been open, but as you know, we have not been open for a while to the public for tours or whatnot. It was supposed to happen last year in March 29th to be exact, but as you know, we shut down on March 14th. We plan to do it again this last spring. As you know, we weren't open. So we will be rededicating our bottle tree, getting a libation poured for it. But as we do that, we will also be pouring a libation for our new blessing box that will be outside of the Avery Research Center. That blessing box will have any type of non-perishable items, books, as well as non-perishable items, books, anything that we feel as if the community could use and be donated to, could use donated. That will be outside of the Avery as well. So we had a great contractor who built us a blessing box and is in the process of being installed right now. We wanted to do the dedication of the bottle tree as well as the dedication of our blessing box and our social justice garden in the back at the same time. So that will be coming very soon. For outreach and public programming, is very up in the air right now. I don't know if you just seen about 20 minutes ago, the College of Charleston Board of Trustees have just issued a new mandate of masks inside of at the College of Charleston. We are absolutely grateful for that, and we look forward to bringing people back in, safely at the college. However, with these mandates and the constant pivoting at the Avery and at the College of Charleston, we also have to pivot very fast. I have an event coming up in October, on October 8th, bringing the great Antoine Patton, Big Boy Daddy Fat Sex from Outkast to Charleston. Initially, we were going to have 400 people at that event. Now we can only have 50. So now everything is changing up. So you please be patient with us as we announce these different programs. We may have to change on at a very short pace, but we will make it happen. The Avery Digital Classroom is here. Please utilize that. Courtney has events on October 29th. The Avery has events on October 29th, the Avery Family Reunion. As of right now, we're only limiting that to August 29th, I'm sorry. August 29th, we have the Avery Family Reunion, but we are only limiting that to the College of Charleston students. Be patient with us because we have so many numbers that we have to be able to meet as far as COVID restrictions that sometimes we may be able to hold it to a few donors or maybe able to hold it to a few community members, to students only. We have to be able to pivot on a short-term basis. We have a lot of Avery Digital Classroom events in September, October, and please share when we release the application deadlines for the James D. Campbell Social Justice Leadership Awards. That will be coming up in November. Again, that's a lot of, we are all working on different committees. I've just finished a committee for the city's council, commission on equity, inclusion, and racial conciliation. City council is actually on right now voting on that. We have a lot of webinars and trainings that will support the greater Avery community. We have, like I said, like Aisha said earlier, Ms. Georgette Mayo, who's working on disaster plan for Avery. That's a larger committee throughout South Carolina. Courtney is serving on the committee. Erica's working on a committee with Justice Gardens and whatnot. Dr. Butler's working on committees with CCSD. Everybody at the Avery is being pulled in 20 different ways. However, we are with a staff of 7 people. we do the work of about 50, and we can only do that with the community. So, and we appreciate each and every one of you helping us in any way that we can. So if you have any ideas, email us. We are here. You can call us. I can't say we're gonna get back to you really quick. Also, I want to do, neglected to mention the reading circle that happens every month, the Consuela Francis Reading Circle. That event, we have a new reading circle event that's happening on Thursday featuring the author Andrea Lee of the Red Island House. So please join on to that. Look out for our emails. We are trying to get that's happening at 6:30, but we are trying to get our emails out constantly and have everybody up to date on what we're doing. Like I said, you can email us, you can call us. We will get back to you as we can. We have a staff of 7 people at the Avery. So please be patient with us. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I think we can go ahead and open it up for questions. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in our chat box.
Yeah, I did see.
One question that was mentioned that came from the social media is, do you all have any internship opportunities for students this upcoming year?
Absolutely. And I think Aisha and I can speak to this. It has been a crazy year for interns, as well as graduate assistantships, as well as undergraduate assistantships. However, we always welcome interns. We always welcome undergraduates who want to work at the Avery and graduate assistantships. We have a limited amount of space, but if you are a College of Charleston student, if you are a College of Charleston student, if you are a high school student, if you need some type of credit somewhere, email us and we can see where we can work you in. It's hard trying to get everybody into the building because, like I said, we will have a lot of work going on within our building, but we will try to work you in, especially if it fits within our mission. And I did want to say that as well. If you have a program that you want to do, if you want to partner with the Avery, please make sure it fits within our mission. That's going to be key for us to be able to keep everything going. Things must fit within our mission to keep going. Aisha, you want to speak more on internships?
Yeah, so we can have internships for credit and also non-for credit internships. So we have a form that we have you fill out that will indicate your interests and as well as your skills. So we can best place you at the center. We have different departments, different units, as you can tell. And so we want to make sure that you the best fit for both yourself and for the center.
Beautiful. The next question that I also got from the social media is, are there any community committees or volunteer opportunities that community members can be a part of?
Absolutely. I would say absolutely reach out to our Avery Institute, the Avery Institute of Afro-American History and Culture. They always are in need of volunteers. When we send out a call for volunteers for a specific task, we will definitely use them as needed. Our problem at the Avery, we have to, when we need people in the building, we need to be able to schedule it to where we're not being, we don't have 20 people inside the building at one time. As you know, the Avery is barely ADA accessible. We can't have a lot of people inside the building at one time. So we'll put out a call for volunteers. And also I wanna thank all the volunteers we had out a few weeks ago who came to help us move over 100 boxes within our collection to our gallery spaces. Thank you. That would have something that would have taken us 3 days to do happened within 6 hours. So I want to appreciate everybody. I want to show appreciation to everybody who came out for that. But yes, the Avery Institute of Afro-American History and Culture, they can always use volunteers. Become a member of the Avery Institute. Attend the annual meetings that they have, attend some of the programs that they have. They exist to be able to help the Avery Research Center do the work that we do. So please reach out to them. We absolutely need them as a thriving organization. And the president right now is Tony Bill. You have, and Aisha put the Institute's website inside of the Avery chat box. And that's something we also want to make a brief note of. sometimes people confuse the Avery Institute of Afro-American History and Culture and the Avery Research Center for African American History and Culture. We are two separate entities. The Avery Institute is a 501c3 body that is used to support the work of the Avery Research Center for African American History and Culture that is part of the College of Charleston. So yes, if you can help us out by joining them, donate to us, donate to them. We need funds. So thank you. Thank you for that question. We have any more questions, Courtney?
So far, those are the only two that I received online. But if you all have any questions that you may have came to mind during our talk, or something that you may want to ask from previous events or initiatives that you've seen the Avery do in the past, please feel free to ask them. We have all staff on right now, so this is the way that you can get the most precise and accurate answers to whatever questions you may have.
I acknowledge that Ms. Erica Beal and Mr. Dut Mayo are also on the Zoom call. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
And also shout out to Savannah Price and our office manager who's on. We have every staff member at the Avery on right now. So if you have any questions for
I was like, go ahead and ask your heart's desire. We can't. Everybody is here.
Yes, all 7 of us.
If you don't have any more questions, I'm going to leave a couple more minutes. But then I will turn it back over to Dr. Butler for any closing remarks. So if you all have any more questions, feel free to comment them. And if anything that you want to ask privately, you can DM me privately and I will leave it anonymous. Back to you, Dr. Butler.
Back to me in the studios. So one of the things that I did want to say is I want to say thank you for tuning in. My closing remarks are really simple. Share, like, follow, so it's subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's follow us on Instagram. It's Avery Research Center. Find us on Twitter, Avery_tweets. Also find us on Facebook. Because some of the things that we've talked about here are also available on those platforms. So sometimes we get emails saying Avery Institute, we're the center, we're the home of the normal institute, the building itself. But also if there's something that you have an idea for, sometimes I think it's great that you all want to share it directly with us. We don't mind. I think it's also being able to share it with our institute members who can also help us build those connections as well. So kind of thinking about that, also thinking about ways to support our students. So one of the things that is also really key to us is that we usually have graduates and undergraduate students here at Avery. One thing that we did not mention is we were fortunate enough to have donations coming through our first year. And so one of the things that we're very excited about is, for example, launching a fellowship that will really support our public history students. So that's one thing we'd like to see a draw, is really helping to build and help people understand that that Charleston, College of Charleston, Avery in particular, is really where you can come to think about becoming a public historian. We see it every day with the folks who come through and do research, whether they are interpreters, tour guides, family historians, people who just like to learn for the sake of learning. All of those folks are welcome at Avery if you make an appointment and wear your mask. Thank you. And so the other things that we also are hoping to do is really get our Sea Island Oral History Project off the ground. So a big thank you to the donor that made that possible as well. And so through that, we're looking at some other partnerships to really get that up and going. The platform that will hold these oral history projects, oral histories, some that we already have, is really where we want to put priority to first, and then maybe collect some down the line. But for that platform is being built this year. And also there's a hidden gem at Avery. I think we've highlighted it a few times, but you're going to hear me say 123 Bull Street so much that I think you're going to be probably a little tired of it, and that's okay. And so 123 Bull Street, if you are standing and facing the Avery Research Center from Bull Street. It is the building directly to the left of it. And so we're looking to really revamp the space, turn into a space that will house future artists. I'm a big, like, I don't think I'm an artist, but I like art and craft stores. But I think it's really getting people to think creatively about what we have at Avery, what we have in terms of how might we curate some of our exhibits, how might we really get a chance to think through what's in the archive, make sense of them, make them accessible and public speakers as well. So my hope is that as a collective and folks who are on this call, if you know folks who are in preservation, if you know people who have really big hearts and even bigger wallets, if you want to send them our way, we'd love to brainstorm on how to get 123 Bull Street back on the map as a working space to really support our research team, and also spaces for our students. So we have a lot of different visions. You all can give me a call one day and we can talk about what those visions are. But for the most part, I just want to thank everybody. I can't say it enough. This team is dynamic. We had a really beautiful interview conversation yesterday with an editor. We'll let y'all know which editor in the future. One of the things is that they're always ready and available to talk to folks, to really help people. And then we're really busy. And I don't like to say booked and busy just for the kicks of it. I want you to understand the 3-story building that you see, the programs that you attend are always made possible by this team. And I'm super grateful to have, I don't really like to call them staff because I don't think that that's fair. I don't think that descriptor is big enough to describe all the things that this team of people are doing to keep each other going. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Drop us questions. Send them. You can slide into our DMs only with questions about Avery, please, at any given time, but also via email. So we'd love to hear from you. And once again, we'd like to thank you for tuning in.